Now that we have gone through the overview of what ERP is, let's slow down and take it step by step in more detail. The purpose of this video will be to help you organize and plan the exposure. First step, create your hierarchy of OCD anxiety. Begin by making a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the highest level of anxiety. 10 means if I were to do this, I would have a panic attack. At the level of 10, OCD is very bad, and resisting compulsions feels very difficult. Of course, you are not doing the 10 right away. This is just to make the far end of the scale for now. Now think of something that would be just a 1. 1 means if I were to do this, I would only have very slight anxiety. At the level of 1, OCD is very minor, and resisting compulsions would be fairly easy. After creating a 1 and a 10, you have the far ends of the scale. Now try to think of some things that could fill out the middle of the scale. At the very least, make sure to fill out a 3, 5, and 7 if you are having trouble filling out all the numbers. The most appropriate way to create the scale is to think of OCD problems that you actually encounter in your life. What are the OCD barriers that block you repetitively in everyday life? What forms of OCD are in your daily routine? After the scale is complete, let's start by tackling the number 1. To perform ERP with the level 1 of OCD, think about how you could expose yourself to the anxiety during your day. Think about how you could formally schedule this number 1 exposure into your calendar. The objective is to do this exposure with a strong intention. It is not something that will just happen on its own. For example, if you had contamination OCD, you would say, I will touch this mildly dirty object at this specific time on this specific day. As another example, if you had checking OCD, you would say, I will lock the door once without any additional checking at this specific time on this specific day, only if that's a 1 for you. Put the exposure as an event in your calendar with a reminder to do it. The exposure is your way out of OCD, so you have to see this as a very important event. You cannot have a higher priority or distraction. Without the structure of calendars and reminders, the exposure will not happen. And finally, remember to not do any forms of exposures that are dangerous. You want to be in a safe and controlled environment where nothing can actually go wrong. You can do exposures on your own or with a therapist. Next, we will break down the details of the actual exposure and the psychology around it.